Now, let's take you to Delta State, where just a few days after the opening ceremony of the National Youth Games in Asaba, news has been trending on social media of alleged claims on the welfare of athletes in the state. Well, speaking to some officials and athletes, they say all necessary provisions have been provided by the state government, debunking the news of lack of accommodation and other necessities, while others complain about the lack of mosquito nets. Meanwhile, athletes have shown excitement at various competitions from football, cricket, and other games.
I think the accommodation and the welfare is fair. It's fair. For us in Bayelsa, we are camped at the Model Technical College. I think that's a new school that they built, and the athletes are in the hostels. So for me, I think it's fair. Delta State, they did well in that direction. I've also seen on the social media where people make those complaints. But even on that social media, I've also said that the impression given is not exactly what I'm seeing on ground. And what we have seen for Bayelsa contingents at the Model Technical College, it's fair.
Okay, even the hostel is not bad, but it's just that they need to do more to increase, because in outside Nigeria there, sports level is more than this. So we can improve. I believe we can improve. And Nigeria, anything we set our mind to, there's nothing we cannot do when it comes to sports.
It's okay. The weather and the condition of the place is okay. The food they serve is okay for us too. Although the windows are not properly fixed and the nets to mosquito.
All right, joining us from Asaba is the project manager of the Games Village at the ongoing National Youth Games, Ademola. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight. Well, it would be nice to start by asking you what exactly the essence of the Youth Games is. Well, let's address this issue about the welfare and the condition of, stay of these students. It's quite troubling. What exactly is responsible for that? Why is it so poor? Mr. Are, if you heard my question?
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening. The first part of your question says, what is the essence of the National Youth Games? The National Youth Games came into being in 2013 when it was very obvious that all states were clamoring to win medals at all costs. That is at the National Sports Festival. And it was open and everybody wanted to be at the forefront. Because of this, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports decided that there should be different programs for the adults, which would be an all-comers affairs, and there should be an age group competition for the younger ones. Initially, it was under 17, and gradually it now came down to under 15. So the essence is to identify talents at very young age and to ensure that Nigeria have a large pool of talents that can be projected for future engagements for the success of Nigeria's participation in international meets. And today, most of the athletes that are doing very well at the international level were actually identified at the National Youth Games between 2013 and 2022. So the essence of it, like I said, is identify new talents, catch them young, and that we are doing. Because at the end of every game, there is always a list of identified talents in all the sports, which the Honorable Minister usually hand over to the various technical directors of all the federations. That by the side, when people are talking about poor, I think that's a relative term. At the beginning, when plans were on for these games, certain institutions were earmarked to accommodate athletes and officials. We have officially, after the DRM, that is Delegate Registration Meeting in Abuja, we had a figure of 5,742. So we actually prepared for this, and at the last minute, Due to the postponement of the game, it was actually expected to be 7th to 17th of September. But for circumstances beyond our control, both at the state and the national levels, the game was postponed and shifted to 20th to 30th of October. Be that as it may, during this period, the students resumed in their various institutions, thereby denying us opportunities of using their dormitories. For example, the Osadebe University, where we targeted to host 2,000 plus athletes and officials. We have Infant Jesus Academy, a very nice school with good accommodation. Then we have the Technical College, where somebody just spoke about at the moment. So these three institutions alone were earmarked to accommodate over 3,000 athletes and officials. But unfortunately, as at the time the game was to begin, they told us that because of exams, they could not vacate the hostels. And immediately we rushed to the sports-loving governor, and the governor approved that any school, that we so desire to use, and he gave us the approval. And then we started working. This was within 24 hours.
Let me quickly jump in here.
And we started working, moving around.
Mr. Arai, well, I think that's clear enough, and we now understand why pictures were out there on social media showing some of the athletes sleeping on bare floor. Now, this is and you said the situation has changed. Now, this is the 7th edition. Has it lived up to the expectations of organizers in terms of discovering talents? Well, it looks like Ademola can't hear us. If you can, I'll take that again. I'm asking to see if you've started discovering some talents that will ultimately become great champions representing Nigeria and the continent.
Yes, definitely. The game has lived up to its expectations. Like I said, we have a talent hunt committee that is comprising of notable Nigerians going around all the venues. We have the technical directors and we have the secretaries of the various federations that are always taking down names of identified talents. You might not win a medal, but you might have the potential of becoming a great athlete. So these people, the members of this committee, are always going around putting down the names of identified talents, which, like I said earlier on, will now be handed over by the Honorable Minister to the various federations' technical directors so that they can invite these children later on and probably put them in camp and start grooming them. Like Tobi Amusan, she was part of this program. Like Ofili, she was part of this program. The long jumper, also, she was part of this program. Most young stars that are really doing Nigeria proud, that is Brume. She was also discovered there. Most of these athletes were part and parcel of the National Youth Games, and we now use them as role models to the younger ones. So the games has been living up to expectations, and that is why the Ministry of Sports Development is determined to ensure that the game is on a continuous basis without break on yearly basis. So we are achieving the success expected of the games.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the youth games have become an essential part of Nigeria's, sporting calendar. What are the opportunities and how can they be harnessed so that you can have more Tobi Amusans and the names that you've just ruled out? Mr. Rai, if you can hear me. Mr. Yes, I was asking that, I was making a point that these youth games have become an essential part of, Nigeria's sports calendar. How can you harness the opportunities?
Yes, many opportunities are bound with these games. Like you said, is now the major flagship program of the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports. And the opportunities are bound in terms of getting more talents, getting a large pool of talents for Nigeria, a large pool of talents, of athletes in all areas of our sports development. And also the games enabled Nigeria to develop its facilities, especially when we were at University of Ilorin. We could know that it became a mecca for athletes and all stakeholders who are interested in sports every September 7th to 17th. And also at the University of Ilorin, the university was able to give scholarship and give admissions to talents identified from most of these the yearly competitions. Also, sponsors are always coming up. They are eager to be part of this, and that is why after hosting for 5 years, the ministry wanted to have a shift, and that is why we are in Delta State. And in Delta State, you could see the microeconomy. You see people all around. You see companies coming in. They want to be part of this. You see the children benefiting from this game because the game affords us to enhance the peace that we required in the country, the joy of being part of it. You will agree with me that any friendship you make at this level will last for a long time. You have people of various backgrounds, various tribes, ethnicity coming together doing sports, and it is only sports you can benefit from this kind of gathering. So the opportunities are there, and we just want to appeal that people that are interested in sports should not wait for the elite athletes before they come in. This is the level they need to come in and pump in their resources so that we can develop these children with their talents. Look at the Williams sisters in the US. They started very young, and the sponsors are always there to support them. But in Nigeria, it's a different scenario. They want you to be a Tobi Amusan before they start giving you millions. They want the Super Eagles to win gold before they start coming in to identify with them. They need to identify with these children, these talents that we have. One thing for us is we have talents in all sports, in all parts of the nation. And Nigeria can be a better sporting nation if the federal government cannot do it alone. There are so many areas of concentration. So we want people of like minds to join hands. Delta State is in the forefront, so we want other states to show more interest and come together. Thanks to the governor of the state for all his efforts.
I think it's a fine place for us to leave it. We'd like to thank you for your time and for all what you and your team do.